Egghead Island arc is back, and to celebrate, we'll draw Gear 5. Landscape page, pencil eraser, hit pause if I go too fast. From the poster for it, so we got like a big hand in the front and Luffy's head, and then we'll join everything up together and add some details like the cloud behind him and all that. So, start with his eyes, particularly his eyebrows. So we start with a little spiral here. And this becomes the eyebrow, so it goes like up to there. It goes underneath his hair. So we'll leave it open, so we'll go just kind of like a hairline here. So I'll go, maybe I'll just draw that. And then we do the other one, spiral. Again, this one goes behind another piece of hair, that white cloudy hair of his, and it curves this way. So his eye underneath, so we'll do kind of frowning, right? So the circles kind of touch it. His eyes are just basically circles. And red iris inside. And a pupil. Do the same thing on the other side. Bum, 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 bum. And then big red. Iris and pupil. So his nose just drawn in like this. I'll give it a nostril. I will though, like there. That's the way they normally do it. And we'll go scar here. And then big cartoon smiling mouth. Goes right up to the scar and then comes around the bottom there. So it like touches the scar there. And then the one piece standard big teeth. So the hand sort of cuts off the bottom part of his face, but he has like a real curvy sort of wine glass kind of shape for his face. It just goes around like this. Okay, and then there's a big finger here. So we'll do some more of his hair. And then his more sort of wavy hair here, and an ear. Another hair spike just coming down onto the eyebrow here. And then it joins this one. A bit of a spike down this way. And he's got those spirals on his hair. A couple of them at the front. And then we'll bring the hair the whole way around. So he's got this cloudy like style to his hair. you're adding like a little spiral every now and then. This is going to go all the way down. There's another little spiral here. It's always fun to draw one piece because it's a very simple kind of style they draw it in compared to other animes, you know. Okay, so big hand, right? So there's now it's massive. Like the thumb is like out here, and the pinky is like out here somewhere. Because he's like extending it out, you know, real long. So we'll do. They draw it pretty simple though. We go just curve this up and around, right? This will be like his index finger. Gomu gomu no, right? And you can see a bit of his ear just here. And so then this kind of goes out to your index finger touches your thumb, kind of that L sort of shape. So it goes this way. And they don't give knuckles or anything. Everything's sort of bumpy and curvy. So we got this like L shape. And then we have the double bump for the palm of the hand, this sort of W shape. And then we have 4 more fingers going that way. Well, 3 more. 4 would be weird. And again, they're just sort of round. Like balloons, sort of. It's as if someone just like did a handprint and just drew around it, you know. Okay, and we just add some like skin lines to it. So like these little things just make it look more like curved fingers, and you want them to sort of curve around the finger shape. And then the lines on the palm of his hand here. Just these edge lines are a bit thicker than the rest. Okay, but generally that's his hand, right? So you can see some anatomy in between. So we can see his chest muscles just underneath his chin, so it kind of like does a double bump kind of thing again. Goes like this way and there. And he's got a collarbone going that way and a collarbone going that way. So your collarbones always run to where your shoulders would be, right? So one shoulder's up there because his body's like going this way. Say for example, the other shoulder will be in just behind the hand here. You could have like just lightly drawn in shoulder. And I guess we could see arm, just flesh color, just in there. And then we can see some of his scar. And purple strap on his waist. He's got that tied part of his straw hat, you know, the bit that's like hangs around his. You can do 2 lines if you wanted to color it brown. It's just simpler if you're using black marker to do it that way, kind of manga style. Then he's a leg coming here. So kind of he's got a pocket, kind of bumps around here first, and then we go down for his thigh, and then we hit the furry knee, the top of his knee thing. And the bottom of the knee just kind of hangs out underneath his thumb. Straw hat back here, kind of wavy, you know, curving around because it's made of straw. That's kind of the rim of it, and then we got the inside of that, and then the top of the hat there, and then there's a red band. And then we got like these textures that kind of curve around the hat itself. They go vertical on the top part and horizontal on that part. Here's another fist over here, clenched fist, doing a punch. So that's like the side of his hand, right? And then we have 4 knuckles. 1, 2. They kind of look like steps of a stairs, kind of. And it's the middle finger that always sticks out the most. This comes around this way, in towards the pinky, the bottom of the pinky, and then you see the thumb just wrapped around all the fingers first. And then we have lines for each individual finger. And then some knuckle lines, so like skinnier knuckle, you know, on the bend part. Another sort of edge of his finger there. And thumbnail. Just a little sort of wrist line going back into his bicep there. His elbow is obviously drawn back because he's about to launch a punch. And the last thing we have to do is that sort of white cloud that goes around him, right? And it kind of like starts here, right? It's kind of like just wrapped around his armpit and goes around the other side. So we go, where? Here. And this kind of gets cloudy looking, basically. Draw a cloud, draw a long cloud. And kind of the inside of it, I'd say, would be here. And sometimes you do have that sort of spiral stuff on it as well. So say like here. So all these little clouds mixed with spikes. And remember, like, you can do it kind of different to me. It does move and change and everything. They don't have to be all in the same spot once you get sort of this general sort of pattern coming around, you know. And there is like another line inside to just continue that tube-like shape. Kind of jump over anything, any fingers and stuff. And then we'll go back on the inside. It's making it look kind of bumpy, like candy floss or, you know, cotton candy, that kind of thing. All right. Gear 5. Definitely one of my favorite power-up forms in all of anime. Hope it's helpful. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to the new Egghead Island. See you in the next one. Bye.